Hey everyone, I am so excited to do this with you and to be here with you today because I have something so special that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next 8 weeks. Let's just say for the summer. I am going to be sharing a deep dive into jumping into your next level and what that actually looks like in real time. So, thank you so much. Whether you're listening to the podcast or if you are joining me over on YouTube, this is the first time that I have ever recorded any type of YouTube video, but I will be documenting and uploading everything that's going to be transpiring over this summer as I am leaping into my next level. And I want you to join me. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Zara. I am the owner of the Love Loft. And what we do is we help high achievers, we help coaches, healers, entrepreneurs to rewire their patterns and their subconscious blocks so that they can recalibrate and step into their next level. Whatever that is for you, it can be love, it can be money, it can be lifestyle alignment. But whatever that is that you desire to have more of, and you're tired of the feast or famine cycle, you're tired of self sabotaging, you're tired of feeling like you're always hitting a ceiling and then retracting right back, this is going to be the spot for you. You can listen to Patterned on the podcast, or you can join me over on the Love Loft YouTube channel. But the Love Loft is going to be the place for you. So, if you have never listened to this before, if you're unfamiliar with me or you don't know me from Captivating Courtship, I really want to thank you for tuning in and to becoming a part of this community. So please make sure that you subscribe, join, leave a review, leave a comment if you're on YouTube so that we can go through this together. Listen, this is going to be very raw, very real, very uncut. Okay. I am just going to jump in here and share this journey with you. So, over the next 6 weeks, you're probably going to get a lot more content and a lot more podcasting you're used to getting. But I'm doing this because I'm documenting the journey and I'm taking you along the ride with me because I really, really, really want you to, one, be able to refer back to these episodes whenever you need to, whenever you need motivation, inspiration, whenever you need some type of guidance. But I also want you to see what's possible for you. And it's also an accountability system for myself over the next 8 weeks. So I'm going to dive all into all the information, but listen, it's going to be raw episodes, it's going to be raw video footage. I'm not doing any extra editing, all of that extra stuff. I am giving it to you straight, honey. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you are unfamiliar with me, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background because I think that that's going to be very important to understand the decisions that I'm making and why I jumped on here today and why you should be following me for this journey. Little bit of background on me. So my name is Zara. I go by Zara J, Zara Johnson, whatever you want to call me. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I have been in the entrepreneurial space probably since my early 20s, taking on different ventures and some different identity shifts. And just, I've had to do a lot. I've gone through a lot. I've written novels, I have written books, I have spoken across the country at different conferences and events. I have hosted singles events. I have launched a matchmaking company. I've launched a coaching business. And now we have the Love Law. So I've gone through a lot of different phases when it comes to my entrepreneurial journey. Every single thing has been very, very different, which has all required me to identity shift and take these massive leaps in a short amount of time in order to make them happen. But I've been able to do it. I'm very blessed and very grateful for doing that. And along the way, developing the courage that I've needed in order to make that happen. And so throughout my journey, and most importantly, I would say in around 2019, that was really one of the biggest breakthroughs and transformational years for me because that is when I started getting into understanding patterns, subconscious blocks, rewiring, all of the things that we do at the Love Loft, understanding those things for myself and how to actually embody and use those as real time tools in order to change my circumstance, in order to align with my new identity to get what I want. I was always seeing these different patterns in a lot of survival mode, a lot of scarcity. We'll dive more into that. If you haven't listened to past episodes, you can go to Pattern on the podcast, listen to past episodes where I talk more about it. But over the years, just realizing how much, whether it's shadows or childhood wounds, and shout out to my parents, I know you guys did the best that you could, but childhood wounds, um, different shadows, different patterns would just show up and plague my goals and my identity and how I would see myself, my self worth, all of those things. And it was always mirrored in love and money. It was always whatever was going on in my love life was always going on in my business or my finances. It was always like these very, very parallel universes that were existing. And I set out subconsciously without even really realizing, I set out on the goal to figure out how to change this. So, everything when you talk about the bridges unfolding and different synchronicities and different things lined up, I'm so grateful for all of the ups and downs that I've gone through over, especially I would say, the last 10 years. Grateful, even though they were hard, even though they were tough. Very grateful for all of the experiences because they truly did help to get me to where I am today. But right now, we don't want to keep repeating those old habits and we don't want to always need rock bottoms to catapult us forward. So, my goal for you is to follow, whether it's the content on YouTube or the podcast, but to stay on this journey with me to help to understand how to guide your nervous system and guide your patterns into that next level for yourself in a way that feels intentional and does allow you to take big leaps, but without having to go through a bunch of burnout, self sabotage, and allowing the fears and the limiting beliefs to guide the way. So, thank you for joining. Now, let's talk about what to expect over the next 8 weeks because I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous that I'm taking you through this journey with me because I want to be a guiding light and I want to be an example. And if I'm going to make any mistakes or if it's not going to happen, I'm not going to use, I was about to use the F word. If I'm going to get any feedback, I was going to say failure, but if I'm going to get any feedback, I still want you to see that in real time. I don't know what just happened. But whatever that is, I still want to be able to do that in real time. I still want you to be able to see what it's like when you hit a setback, when things don't go according to plans and you still have to move forward. I want you to be able to see in real time when there's a fire blazing around you, how to keep moving forward, how to persist, how to keep focusing on what it is that you are trying to desire, to manifest, to bring into focus, so that you understand how to embody this for yourself. Now, for those of you who are not on the email list or have not been following, when it comes to the Love Loft, it's pretty much been a virtual space for the last 8 months. I first had to take the leap to getting into alignment with this vision that I've had since 2019 of creating this exclusive wellness club, especially for high achievers, for entrepreneurs, coaches, all those, because what I learned over the years is that whenever I had a goal or as I was shifting identities, as I was building, I didn't have a lot of support. I didn't have a lot of people believing in me. I didn't have a lot of guidance. There was a point in time where I couldn't really afford coaching. I'm not going to say I couldn't afford it. Most importantly, I didn't understand the value of it. I didn't understand the value of investing in community or investing in guidance. And so I went a lot of years doing it the long way and the hard way because I didn't make the proper investments into going after my goals. But even when you talk about your love life, that's all another topic. But when you're talking about relationships, navigating relationships, marriage, children, all of those things, as a high achiever, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's always on a growth path, you're always trying to do more, you're trying to grow, you are deeply invested in being the best version of yourself. That can be a challenge too when it comes to trying to understand your own patterns and mistakes when it comes to connection or communication or how you're showing up in relationships or maybe if you're dating or anything like that. And it's also a challenge to balance that aspect of your life out with the making money, going after goals, those things as well. So it's really important for me to create a container and create a space that's a safe space for people to do the personal work, go after their goals, and also recalibrate when it comes to their patterns, their subconscious blocks, their emotions, being able to manage emotions during all of these life phases. So my goal for the next 8 weeks is to go from the Love Loft being a virtual container. Pretty much I've been focusing on one-to-one coaching, or I don't even like the word coaching anymore. I actually prefer the term guidance. I don't really feel like a coach. I feel more like a guide. So one-to-one guidance, working with my one-to-one clients. That's pretty much been one of the primary focuses, along with our VIP days and hosting those, which is a combination of Reiki and sound baths and hypnosis, doing that in person, along with the master classes, been hosting the master classes. And so this has pretty much been the focus for the last 8 months or so since I launched the Love Loft. But moving forward, one of the main focuses will be our 6 week Love and Money expansion, which will be our primary focus of when you just get a taste of being part of the Love Loft community and getting to enjoy our Sunday sanctuary, which is our recalibration days where you get to experience Reiki and sound and guidance and visualization and breath work and all of those things in one day in group containers. But the Love Loft's main focus is our private one to ones. This was very important to me because I spent a good portion of my time as a coach with Captivating Courtship doing group coaching. And I went into group coaching because I believe that that was the right way to build the business. And it was successful. So I don't want to say that that didn't work or that wasn't the right thing. But I also experienced a lot of burnout, constant burnout. I would host my sessions and maybe have about, let's just say it's about 15 women on a call at a time. And after those sessions, I would always have to crawl into bed and just reset. And I would reset. It would take me a couple hours. Usually, I would take Friday mornings off because I would be so burnt out and so drained from hosting group coachings. Now, I'm not anti group coaching, so it's not that at all. But I had to realize that for my energy, I actually prefer one on one. And I also understand that for a lot of people who are going after goals or working on themselves, group is amazing and group is beneficial when you desire to be in group. But there's something really special about that one on one and understanding that that's my preference as a guide. And for a lot of my clients, they also prefer one on one. Yes, having some group experiences, but they really desire the one on one. And so I wanted to make sure that the Love Loft is designed around one to one experiences. So even though we have our Sunday sanctuary where you can do the group containers for those recalibration sessions, you also, as a member, you get the one-to-one experience where you get to work with your healer, with your practitioner, one-to-one. And I think that that's really special and really important. But we haven't had a brick and mortar space, and I'm going to be honest with you, brick and mortar is very, very scary for me. I have written books. I have been featured in magazines. I've been an Amazon bestseller. I have launched coaching business. I've helped people to get married. I've done so much with matchmaking and coaching, relationship coaching. And taking this on is very, very different. It's a completely different beast. It's a completely different level of responsibility, which has been very, very intimidating and very scary for me to step into the version of myself that has to hold this level of responsibility, that has to be responsible for managing a team of practitioners, for launching and managing a brick and mortar space, for having to maintain, just you talk about the cleanliness of it, the um paying the responsibilities of the overhead, like all of those things on top of the content creation and the marketing. And it's just like, this is a different version of me that I will have to step into. And I've been very scared and very intimidated to fully embody her. I've been tiptoeing my way to making certain decisions, tiptoeing my way to clients, tiptoeing my way to, visiting different suite locations, having those conversations, creating the vision, getting clear, getting clear, getting clear, getting clear. But it's been a tiptoeing process because it has been very, very scary for me to take on this type of task and be the sole leader in this space. It's very different. And so, because of that, I realized I have been procrastinating. And I am someone who believes, I'm laughing because I'm looking at my notebook and I matched with my notebook today. But listen, I'm going to tell you, as you are listening to this, my mind may jump off to some things sometimes. That's how I operate. That's my little, maybe it's ADD. I don't know, never been diagnosed, but whatever it is, it's going to happen sometimes. That's just the truth. Stay with me. I'm just stay with me. But this is a very different venture. And what I realize is that a lot of times when you are setting out on a quest, when you're being called to a higher version of yourself, when you are trying to shift into a new identity, the more that you teeter on the fence and the longer that you're taking, you will be catapulted through hella high water, right? Like you are going to be catapulted into that version of you where you are forced to make certain decisions. You are forced to show up. You are forced to align. You are forced to become the person that you have been asking and calling and praying to become. And when we talk about bringing something from the 5D into the 3D, it always comes down to taking that idea, taking that desire, taking whatever you're praying for. It doesn't matter if it's a partner, it doesn't matter if it's a certain amount of money or a goal or a business or idea or a promotion at your job, whatever that is that you are asking for, that you have a strong desire for. When you have that desire and that's floating around at a higher level of consciousness, you have to bring it into the 3D. You have to bring it into the real world, into your reality with action and with alignment. And it's about that alignment and that identity shift that is going to make it happen. It's not about the doing, doing, doing. And I know if you are in the spiritual law of attraction space, you probably hear this all the time. But I know sometimes it can be very hard to conceptualize what this actually looks like. But it's not about the doing, it's really about the being and understanding how to shift into that state of identity so that you're consistently taking action and showing up as that version of yourself. So, what we're going to be doing, and I want you to follow along, and I want you to take notes every single time I release this, but I want you to also think about how to apply this to your life. And if you want more support and guidance in that, then I would suggest for you to sign up for one of the Wednesday Rewire Master classes. And soon we'll be launching the Sunday Sanctuary pop ups where you'll be able to participate in that as well. But I want you to take notes. I want you to follow along about when it comes to what you want to do when it comes to this process. Now, whatever I share with you, you can apply to love or money goals. You can take yourself through these same exact steps and take yourself through an expansion process so that you can take a leap. I believe that a lot of shifts can be made in just a 90-day period. If you have a single goal that you're trying to meet and you're able to lock in and hold that consistency and hold that frequency for 90 days, you can change and make a major leap into your next level. I have done it when it comes to increasing my income, tripling my income in a few short months, in about a 3-4 month period. I have done it when it comes to making major leaps, when it comes to relocations or making bigger moves, launching businesses. All of these things, I have been able to do them in 90-day sprints. I don't suggest for you to consistently push yourself to that level because that does lead to burnout. But a solid 90 days can shift you into your next level. You're going to have to still have a long term plan to sustain it because we want nervous system recalibration and sustainability for that next level. But a solid 90 days. And it's not easy to hold your attention and hold your frequency for 90 days. It can be a challenge. But if you can give yourself 90 days, 90 days of focus. And I'm going to show you how to do it in real time without burning out. That is the biggest goal. Because let me be really transparent with you. This morning, when I set this goal intention, like, okay, I'm giving myself to the end of the summer to open up the brick and mortar for the Love Law, to go all in on this, to build the team, to do all these things. I'm giving myself until the end of the summer to do this. I instantly went into fear mode. I instantly went into, oh my gosh, not that I'm going to fail. That's not actually, and this was a very interesting realization for me to come to today. And when we talk about this, the first step, the first thing for you to do is to get clear on your patterns. You got to get clear on what's showing up for you. For me, I have always had the trophy pattern. If you're not familiar with the 8 love loops, then you can go ahead to the quiz in the description. Patterns, they their biggest struggle and their biggest pattern is always centered around emotional security or financial security. And getting to a place of security, 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 security. And not enough is always a sabotaging theme. Now, how this starts showing up for me, as soon as I set this goal, as soon as I start thinking about it, my mind starts going to burnout. What if there's not enough time? What if there, um, I don't have enough energy, right? Like I don't have enough energy to pull this off. I'm not able to perform at this capacity. That was actually the fear and the beliefs that came up for me, which was very interesting because I didn't have a fear of failure. Not meeting a goal or not being capable of making something happen wasn't necessarily the strongest pull for me. Yes, do have those doubts or those insecurities like, can I really pull this off? Can I really make this happen in a amount of time? Can I really turn this around? Those things do come up. But what I realized is that my biggest fear that instantly started coming up for me was a fear of burnout. The fear of how much energy, me not having enough energy, me not being able to uh, consistently show up at that level. That is actually the fear for me. So the fear for you could be very different. For every person, it's going to be very different. But one of my biggest fears is overworking. And we can talk about the childhood trauma of it if you want, because that is a fear that was developed more so in childhood. Not that I was overworking or burning out in childhood, but what I did observe was my mom was a very, very hard worker. And shout out to my mom. I love you. I know that you did the best that you can. But my mom was a very, very hard worker. And me as a young child, I didn't actually enjoy that. I didn't like that. I didn't admire that because what I would see is someone who would leave out to go to work early in the morning, and she always seemed to not enjoy that. She seemed to be a little grumpy, a little moody in the mornings when she was rushing out to go off to work. And then when she would come home from work, she was never, like, I would say rarely ever in like a good mood. She always seemed tired and stressed and, did you guys clean this up and do this and that? And she always seemed to be in a state of exhaustion and burnout. And then she was also going to school at the same time. My dad did a great job of being a supportive spouse and being home with us, but my mom had a lot of the big, lofty goals. And so as she was working and going to school, when she wasn't doing that, she was very tired and just wanted to rest and exhausted and didn't have a lot of time or energy for other things. So a lot of my relationship with working or building business or money or any of that came from a fear of, if I have to overwork, if I have to do this, I'm going to burn out. And I don't want that for myself. A lot of my decisions, when it came to my decision to homeschool or any of that, was all built around the idea of being available and not wanting to burn out or to overwork. So whenever I see this start to come up for me when it comes to goals that I'm setting, and I'm accomplishing things, and then I'm instantly going into, oh my gosh, I don't want to burn out, I don't want to overwork, what if I overwork, what if I burn out, what if I get exhausted? This is where I have to slow down and become very, very aware of my patterns, that this is a sabotaging belief that's possibly going to come up and block me from stepping into my next level. So what I did was I instantly went into sharing this goal with my friends, and now I'm sharing it with you all because that level of accountability is important. I'm very, very blessed to have a strong support system that can guide me and support me and uplift me when it comes to my goals. They have a very strong belief in me, and I love that. One of my great friends, she was just instantly like, listen, you can do this. I've seen you do it. You can make this happen. And just having those people in your corner is so amazing and so beautiful, because having community is really, really important when it comes to your goals. But not just community, you also have to have guidance. So, what I'm in a search for right now, I have a little bit of guidance on how to pull off what I'm trying to pull off. I'm actually following the guidance from Alex Hermosi's gym launch, but I will be looking for a coach or a guide that can hold space for me at a higher level as I'm navigating all of this. Other things that I'm leaning into as I'm taking this on and I'll be sharing with you in real time are my heart healing visualization. So, inside the Love Loft, inside of our Love Loop Rewiring Vault, we have all different types of visualizations and workshops. So, this morning when I woke up, one of the things that I did as soon as I woke up, popped in my headphones and I listened to the next level vision visualization to get clear on my vision, which is really where all of this started to come about. And what I also did was, after I did the visualization, gained some clarity, started working on a plan, talked it through with my friends, let them know, like, hey, this is my goal, this is what I'm working towards, this is what I'm trying to accomplish in the next 8 weeks. The next thing that I did was I took a step forward. And for me, taking a step forward was one, setting a date, and two, reaching out to the, I guess you could say, like the property manager for one of the office suites that I'm interested in and getting information on, like, what are your summer specials, what are the current rates, and setting up a day to tour and look at what suites are currently available to be the space for the Love Loft. So all of this is in process when you're talking about getting in alignment, but now it's holding that vision and holding the energy for the next 8 weeks. So that's the journey that I'm going to be taking you on. One more thing I want to share with you. Two more things actually. So a few other things happened prior to this that put me in position to start taking this journey on and to tap into this energy and tap into this frequency to align with my next level. The first thing is, over the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I spent a lot of time detoxing and figuring out what are my energy leaks. When you think about energy leaks, these are, whether they're mental, emotional, or physical things that are taking up space that's blocking you from being able to receive the clarity or guidance that you need in order to make things happen. This could be conversations that you need to have. For me, there were some conversations that had been weighing on me, that had been emotionally causing me a little frustration, ruminating thoughts, thinking about, oh, I need to talk to this person, I need to have this conversation, I need to handle this situation. These things were some things that have been taking up mental and emotional space that's causing blocks, that's not allowing the clarity and the vision and whatever guidance that I need to receive from my source. It was blocking that from happening. So I wrapped up some conversations that needed to be had. I addressed some conversations that were uncomfortable conversations that needed to be had. I cleaned out my closet. I cut off certain business offers and made certain decisions that I had to make on a business level about things I no longer wanted to do, people I no longer wanted to serve, getting really clear on who I did want to work with and how I did want to show up, deleting anything that no longer needed to be a part of my life, making different decisions when it came to my health or my diet and my routines with that, but really just clearing space. What things are in alignment with the old story, the old version, the old identity, the old level that I'm trying to let go of? If that means putting certain people on block, put them on block. If that means having some hard, uncomfortable conversations, have the conversations. If that means setting clear boundaries when it comes to yourself financially, settling debts, maybe just getting clear on what those debts are and making a clear plan for them, cleaning up your diet, drinking more water, getting rid of old clothing, old pajamas, old things that no longer serve you, creating new habits and routines. I spent about the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, really focusing on that. And it wasn't a hard push, but it was an intentional action. Like, okay, what is no longer serve me? Who do I need to talk to? What things do I need to get rid of? What's been stressing me out, causing me a lot of ruminating thoughts, causing me a lot of emotional ups and downs that's not allowing me to really receive whatever it is that I need to receive. So you have to clear the space. You have to clear the mental space, the emotional space, the energetic space. So whatever it is that you need to come through, whether it's a partner, new clients, it could be a job offer, promotion, it could be a new opportunity, a new apartment, new car, whatever it is. You have to clear space so that those things can come through. If you're in business, maybe there are old systems, maybe there are old offers that you should no longer be selling. You need to clear that space. You have to be willing to let it go. Whatever is weighing you down that's keeping you at the old level, you have to be willing to let it go. If it's people, if it's your partner, whatever it is, friendships, whatever it is, you have to be willing to let it go. At the very least, have those conversations, make those decisions so that you are giving yourself an opportunity to step into your next level. When I was working with clients at Captivating Courtship, I would always say, you have to set the boundaries. And a lot of times clients would say, well, what happens if someone doesn't step out of a boundary? A boundary is a boundary. It's not about being super rigid, it's not about being super strict, but either two things are going to happen when you are making the decision to step into that next level and require new things. People, things, opportunities are either going to step up or move out the way. That's all that can happen. Either way, you win. Either way, you win. So you have to be willing to clear the space and let whatever is no longer serving, whatever is no longer in alignment with who you are becoming with that next level, you have to be willing to let it go. So if you are following me on this journey and you have a desire, it could be a relationship, it could be improving your marriage, it could be launching a business, going for a bigger job opportunity, changing your lifestyle, losing weight, whatever that desire is that you have, I want to call you to make the decision today to detox. Just spend the next few days or the next week or the next 2 weeks getting really clear on where do you need to clear space. Who do you need to let go of? What are the conversations that you need to have? What are the debts that you need to pay? What are the clothes that you need to get rid of? Maybe you have some old raggedy clothes that just doesn't serve you anymore. You need to let it go. Maybe there are things in your home. I sometimes say to my clients, it could be something as simple as you have some dead batteries in your remote control, and every single time you go to push a button on the remote, it just gives you an extra hassle and a headache. Change the batteries. Change the light bulb. I'm thinking saying this to myself right now. Change the light bulb. Right? Do whatever you need to do to clear that space so that you are bringing in new energy into your space. That's the first thing that I want you to do before you even get crystal clear on the vision. I want you to spend some time clearing that energetic space. Once you do that, you're going to just spend some time with yourself. Take that time in stillness, whether it's journaling, you can do the workshops inside of the Love Loft Rewiring Vault. You can go out in nature, go for some walks. For me, I love a long walk. I try to walk about 2 miles a day at the bare minimum. Some days I do longer. Yesterday I went on a walk with a friend and we went for a 5 mile walk. Sometimes I'll just go for a walk around the neighborhood or I'll go to the track. I like to go by myself. Sometimes I go with friends. I don't mind going with friends, but those are more like walk and talks and like some quality time recharge, especially recharging off the feminine. But I like to spend a lot of time in isolation. I will go for 90-minute walks by myself. I will just sit on the balcony and just enjoy the view and do journaling. Or sometimes I'll just sit on the floor in my room. It's something about sitting on the floor and just being very grounded, putting on a candle or some incense or some type of aromatherapy and just journal and think and brainstorm. And sometimes it's just about rest. I might not do any of those things. I might just listen to some meditative sounds and just relax. You could be on the couch, in the bed, on the floor, wherever, but taking that time for stillness is very, very important. So you want to go into like a little bit of an incubator and allow yourself to be in a state of stillness and give yourself the space to receive after that detox. What will happen is you will start to get very clear on what it is that you actually want, what that next level needs to look like, what are the things that you desire. It will slowly start coming through. Do not rush it and do not try to get clarity all at once. It will come to you. It will come to you over time. It will come to you, the more that you take more time for yourself, the more that you create more space, the clarity, the insight, all those things will start to show up. You will start to get more and more clear, and then you'll start to take action, and then you'll get more clarity, and then you'll take some action, and then you'll get more clarity. But the more that you create this space and you allow yourself to slow down and be present with where you are, the more clear you will get. So, like I said, this can be applied to whatever it is that you want, whether it's love, money, improving your marriage, whatever those things are. That clarity will come to you in this space. Now, what can also happen in that space is you will get clear on the synchronicities and the signs and the people and the things that show up to help support you in that. This is so important because a lot of times we don't realize when we are turning away the boat to get to the land. We're turning away the boat to get to the land. People will show up that will offer us opportunities or be there to help us. And no, it's not always going to be free help. You have to be willing sometimes to invest to get into the room. But people will show up that will be there to support us. Sometimes it's opportunities to show up. Sometimes it's messages that we need to hear, but things will show up to guide us to where we need to go. For me, how that had been looking was certain conversations that I was having with people around me were showing up and really planting some seeds in my head that would make me think like, maybe this is something I need to consider. Maybe this is something that I need to do. Let me not jump and act on it right now, but let me just take that little nugget and plug it in. What this also looked like was I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see someone present that they have a space for rent. And even though I knew that this was not a space that I would want long term, I was just like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and send her a DM and just see what this is about. So it's really interesting. And this is where we're talking about synchronicities and people and things just showing up to help you get on the path. So I reached out just very casually, not really truly interested, but giving myself the opportunity to just like, okay, let's just see what this is about. And at this point, honestly, I hadn't made the decision to open a Love Loft in the next 8 weeks. This was several days ago, so I hadn't made that decision yet. And so reached out to her and she's like, yeah, I have this space, it's for X amount of dollars, but it's only available on Sundays. And I'm like, oh, I can't do much with that. So I just was like, okay, thank you so much for letting me know. And I just, exit the conversation. Several days later, I start to get a clarity in taking that space in a journaling session that I was having with myself. I was sitting on a balcony. I got this idea to start hosting the Sunday sanctuaries. And at the time, I was thinking only about doing them virtually. And I'm like, okay, I can start doing the Sunday sanctuaries. Let me just take that little nugget. I think this is what I want to do. Let me start reaching out to the team of practitioners to see who can help me to pull this off. The next day, I get the clarity that I should probably do the Sunday sanctuaries in person. And so, as I made this decision to do these Sunday sanctuaries, it's still not linking in my mind to do it at this specific location. Matter of fact, it wasn't even on my mind that the woman said that her space is available on Sundays. And so as I got this clarity and start thinking the wheels are turning, I think we'll start doing the Sunday sessions in person. And I'll start taking that step to start bringing the Love Loft into the in person space. It hit me that this woman said that her space was available, but I couldn't remember what day. So I sent her a message, said, hey, by the way, what day did you say that your space is available? And she said, oh, it's available on Sundays. And I'm like, how perfect is that? So I tell her, okay, I'm going to try to get down there this week, which is now we're in this week. So I'm like, okay, this week I'm going to try to make some time to get down there and to tour the space and see what type of agreement I can work out with her to step into this. But when we talk about, and again, this is in real time, we're still in the midst. We talk about being on the bridge. We're literally on the bridge right now. But this is how things start to show up in your space. And when you have the clarity and you have the mental, emotional capacity to receive, and you are creating that space and you are doing the rewiring work, so that you can open up the mental and emotional space to receive the clarity and receive the vision. This is how the opportunities, the synchronicities, the people, all these things just start showing up in your space. Now, do I know if when I get down there, if this is going to be the right space for me? I don't know. And it doesn't matter. And I need you to hear this because I tell this to my clients when I'm working with them one on one and they're going after an opportunity or they want a partner or whatever it is that they desire. And it can get very, very fixated that it has to be this. It's either this or it's nothing. It's very black or white thinking. When you're in a state of very black and white thinking, that's a very survival mode type of mindset because you are so dependent and so locked in on this one particular thing. And you don't want to be in that state. That is not a state of abundance. So you have to have the mindset and you have to lock into the beliefs. And this is how you trust and you surrender. You have to lock into the belief that it's either going to be this thing or something better. If you can learn to think from that state of mind, you will understand the energy of surrender. You will understand how to get in alignment with what you want. You will release whatever emotional stress that's causing your nervous system to burn out and to go into overdrive and to go through those emotional highs and lows. You have to learn to surrender and trust that you're either going to get that thing or something better. The only way, the only thing you will get less than what you deserve is by your own doing, of you falling into old patterns and choosing the old identity. That is the only way. That is not from source. And I don't care if you say God, Allah, the universe. I'm Muslim. I'll say Allah, but it doesn't matter. I'll say the source to creator, whatever. I don't, it's all the same to me. I don't care what you believe. Just have something that you believe in. Okay. I don't care what you believe. The universe, Allah, guide, source, creator. When I'm over here with the love, I will say source because I feel like that's a universal term that everyone can get on board with. But whatever your source is, if you are getting something less than what you deserve, less than what you desire, and it's coming from a lower state of self worth, that is by your own doing. That is not in alignment with the frequency of love. That is not in alignment with your source. Okay? That's what we do with the love law. We make decisions from a place of being in alignment with the source. So if you are making decisions that takes you out of alignment, or you're choosing partners that takes you out of alignment, or you're shrinking or settling, or any of that, is because you are making decisions that's out of alignment with your high self-worth. You are making decisions out of alignment with the identity and who you're stepping into becoming. You are making decisions that are taking you from a frequency that's lower and on the opposite spectrum from the source. And yes, you're not going to do everything in perfect alignment all the time. That's fine. But the amount of time that you stay down versus the amount of time you're able to recalibrate and get back on track is what really matters. And so it doesn't matter as you are making decisions and things start showing up in your space, whether it works out perfectly doesn't really matter because you don't know how something is going to come through. You honestly you don't know. All you can know is that you are making a decision that is going to pull you closer to what you want or it's going to take you further away from it. That is what you need to be getting clear on. If I'm taking action, if I'm making a decision, is it getting me closer to my desire? Is it taking me further away? If you are making decisions that's consistently keeping you on the bridge, just like little breadcrumbs, little milestones, that's constantly taking you further, further, further down the path of where you're trying to go, the only outcomes that can happen is you're either going to get that thing, it's going to be that thing, or it's going to be something better. That's the only outcome. So it doesn't matter if it's not that exact thing. If you go for a job opportunity and you don't get the call back for that exact job, it doesn't matter. Keep applying for job opportunities in alignment with what you want. The right opportunity, the right thing will come through. If I go to this location to go see if I want to take this suite for the next 8 weeks, and if it's not it and I have to go to somewhere else, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm now in position and I'm now in alignment and I continue to take action that's eventually going to land me exactly where I'm supposed to be at the right opportunity. The only way that I'm not going to make that happen is if I start taking actions that's either the opposite of what I desire or I take no action at all. And so you have to get very, very clear on when I'm making decisions, when I'm taking actions, is this getting me in alignment? And surrender and be so okay with it's either going to be this thing or something better. But the only way I'm not going to get it is if I stop taking action, or if I'm taking action that's taking me in the opposite direction. So, whether or not this opportunity is the right opportunity doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It could be the perfect opportunity, it could just be a breadcrumb that puts me in position for the right opportunity. It doesn't matter. It's still showing up to get me in alignment. It still showed up at the right time in the right situation. Just so happened to be online at that time. I just so happened to make the decision to reach out. She just so as next couple of days, I just so happened to get the epiphany. Oh, I should do this Sunday sanctuaries. Did not just so happen to be available on Sundays. All of these things are lining up to get me in position. And so I have to be willing to receive and to take the step forward. So I'm leaving you with that today. And like I said, whether it's a relationship, a job opportunity, a business that you want to launch, making more money, paying off a goal or a debt, improving your marriage, losing weight, improving the relationship with your kids, whatever that is that you desire for your next level. It could just be a better lifestyle. Maybe you just want more for your life overall. Maybe your life is already fantastic and you just want to take it to the next level. It's cool. Whatever it is, level up, go for it. You can have whatever you want. And I truly, truly believe you can have whatever it is that you want, whatever it is, as long as you're not trying to do it from a place of straight ego. But the first thing that we want to focus on is getting very clear on what are the patterns, what are the beliefs that are showing up? Where is this being mirrored in love or money, or love and money in your life right now? And you can take the love loop quiz. Go to the link in the description so that you can get clear on your love loop and one of your core wounds. After that, the next thing that I want you to focus on is detoxing. I want you to spend some time over the next couple of days, maybe even the next couple of weeks, of tying up whatever loose ends are draining your energy. You're going to do a detox of your closet, of your home, get rid of old clothes, get rid of old things in your home. You might need to rearrange furniture, clear the energy. You're going to detox conversations. Are there hard conversations you need to have? Are there things that you need to talk about? Things that you need to let go of that's just holding your energy, holding your mental, your emotional space that you need to let go? Are there people that you need to let go? Are there friendships? Are there relationships? What are some things that need to shift? Maybe there's some things in the workplace or in your business that's keeping you on a fence, that's keeping you teetering, and is draining your energy. It's time for you to make some decisions, clear the space. And it might take you a couple of days, it might take you a couple of weeks to clear the space. Some things may take even longer, and that's okay too. But you just want to start putting yourself in position to clear the space. Once you clear the space, I want you to take some time to give yourself the space to receive the clarity so that you start opening up for your vision. And I think I want to leave with that, and we'll pick up next time on vision and getting clear on your vision and how to do that and how to make decisions around that. But for today, I want to leave you with those things and write those things down, start putting that in motion so that you can start creating the space to receive the clarity for what your vision is, and you can start building the confidence to start rewiring, doing the inner work, and then taking those leaps into action. And again, I will be documenting all of this over the next 8 weeks. So make sure that you tune into this. Please feel free to share with a friend, leave a comment. It would mean so much for me for you to leave a review, leave a comment, let me know how this series is impacting you. And you can refer back to this whenever you desire, because I want this to be a staple to motivate you, inspire you. And I don't know what's going to happen over the next 8 weeks. I'm just being really honest. I don't know what's going to happen. But whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I'm perfectly okay with that. And also, one more thing, I want to invite you to join the next Wednesday Rewire or a Sunday Sanctuary. I'm going to put the link in the show notes so you can learn all about it. These are free sessions. These are free sessions, and you'll get to come and learn and rewire with me. So I want you to go ahead and join that. And through that rewiring session, you're going to get clear on your patterns. We're going to create your expansion map. And we're also going to do a visualization. Then I'm going to talk to you more about the 6-week Love and Money expansion, which is going to be such an amazing experience for you because you're going to get the opportunity, one, to be in community, Two, to do the rewiring, but three, you also get your private recalibration session as well. So I'm not going to go too deep into that today because that's not really what this episode is for. But I do want to thank you for listening. Make sure that if you are interested in joining one of the rewiring sessions, that you go ahead and secure your spot right now, because these are intimate sessions. So one of the things, like I said, I learned is that I don't really enjoy big group experiences. So it's very limited to only 4 people per session. It's a very private, very exclusive opportunity for you to rewire and to be able to ask some questions. So make sure that you go ahead and register your spot to claim your spot. Even if you've joined a masterclass in the past, feel free to join this. I do ask that if you join this current rewiring bundle, that you don't just keep rejoining, because these are kind of spots for people that have never experienced. But I do welcome you. I do invite you, and bring a friend, bring someone else to rewire and deal with you, so we can do this in community. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this. And I cannot wait to share this and hear your feedback. And thank you for holding a space for me and allowing me to be so brave to be open about this, because I'm nervous, honey. But we're going to do this, and we're going to do this together. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.